quick apology for the lighting. I could not have chosen a worse time of day to film, so I'm really sorry if the sun is going to be coming in and out. But welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another bookish video. I had so much fun last month filming one, so I thought let's do it again, and let's start with my July reading wrap up. So first book was actually my book club's pick for July. I feel like this was everybody's book club for July, and that is of course The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. So this was actually my first time reading a gothic romantasy, and I can officially say that I'm obsessed. I loved this book so much. I think it deserves all the hype that it's been getting on TikTok. Everyone in my book club loved it as well. So at the beginning we are introduced to the character Sybil. She is part of a group of diviners. So this is a group of women that were taken to a cathedral at quite a young age and given the power of telling prophecies. So people from all around the kingdom are traveling to them to get their prophecies told, including the newly appointed king and his group of knights. And shortly after they visit, the diviners start to go missing. So that is where the story begins. It's a very unique magic system. We've got omens, we've got prophecies, diviners. Of course, it is a romantasy, so there is a bit of a love interest, but it's done so beautifully, such slow burn yearning, exactly what you want in a romantasy. We also have a lot of self-discovery, questioning of faith, but most importantly, possibly the funniest side character I've ever read in any book, and that is Bartholomew, who is a talking gargoyle. I know that sounds ridiculous, and I feel like if someone heard that, it might put them off reading the book, but trust me, it just works so well. I've just never had a book that's made me laugh out loud so many times, but at the same time, so many beautiful quotes. I'm giving this 4.75. So many good twists and turns and a lot of things I didn't see coming, but there were a few things which I found a little bit predictable. So therefore it's not the perfect book. Like, to me, 5 stars is completely flawless. Just quickly, can we appreciate how beautiful this cover is? Although I will say I saw the German edition online, and oh my god, their cover is so beautiful. After book club, I went back to a series that I started last month, and that is the Crowns of Nyaxia series by Carissa Broadbent. And I've actually just pulled it up on my phone because I'm so bad at remembering all the names. So last month I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night. So that is book 1 in the first duology. And then if you look at her reading order on Instagram, she actually has an optional novella that you can read in between. And originally I was going to skip this, but then I saw that I had a few hours left on my BookBeat account, so I could listen to the audiobook for free because it only goes for 4 or 5 hours. So I ended up listening to it. And it wasn't a bad story, but personally, I just find that novellas tend to slow down the story for me. I would rather just read all the way through and then maybe go back to them at the end if I really, really loved the characters and I want to know a little bit more about them. But I personally feel like you could probably skip it if you wanted to. And then I moved on to book 2 of the duology, and so that is The Ashes and the Starcursed King. I can't say much on book 2 without spoiling book 1, but a little quick intro to the world. In the first duology, you've got humans and vampires, you've got forced proximity, obviously it's a romantasy, so there's a love interest. We've got a really interesting dynamic between family, so father and daughter. Book 2 was good, just not as good as book 1, maybe 3.5 stars. And then I skipped the second optional novella and moved on to the second duology. So at the beginning of the book, our main character is forced to go on a quest to the underworld. So basically throughout the whole book, we are just going deeper and deeper into the pits of hell. And I just got to the point where I was just like, oh my god, are we there yet? There is only so much I can read about, really dark, dingy places, lost souls, bloody water. It just kind of dragged on to me. And also I couldn't really relate to the characters just because it is more vampires and gods, and I myself am not religious, so I couldn't really relate to the whole blindly following their faith and their gods. But I mean, it was very interesting, and there's definitely a lot of character development and self-discovery, but for the most part I just didn't enjoy this book as much. I think I would give it 3 stars. That being said, I will be reading the next one, which comes out in a couple weeks, just because this book did end on quite an interesting note, so I do kind of want to see where the rest of the series go. But anyway, let's move on to my August TBR, as well as a fun little book haul. So after book club a couple weeks ago, me and the girls decided to walk to the new first romance bookshop in London. So it was in Notting Hill, and it is called Saucy Books. So we actually got to meet the owner. Her name is Sarah. She's very lovely, and she has decorated the store so beautifully. So right now, obviously it's summer, so she's done it all kind of summer theme, lots of summer romance. And she did say that when the weather starts to get a little bit colder, she will kind of redecorate and make it a little bit more fantasy focused, which I'm very excited about. And I didn't get a chance to buy our August book club because they didn't have it in, but I did find another book, and she had mentioned that Penn, the author, had been in doing a signing a couple weeks earlier, and there was still a couple copies left. So I wanted to read the Spark of the Everflame series for so long. It's been on my TBR for ages, and unfortunately, book one had already sold out, but she still had a couple copies left of book two and book three that was signed. So I did end up going for book two just because I feel like I don't need every book signed. I'd rather leave it for other people to get. But I did want at least one with a signature. And I just thought I've got like the Kindle Unlimited free trial at the moment. So I'll read book one, and then if I love it, then I can buy the physical copy, and then I've got the signed second copy. And then, of course, if I'm not really loving the series, then I can just sell this because I'm sure someone would love to get a copy which is signed. But of course, the first book I need to read in August is Book Club, and I've already forgotten what it's called, so don't mind me while I pull out the WhatsApp group chat. So for August, our pick is A Fate Inked in Blood. Now, I have read mixed reviews on this, so I'm going to use my Kindle Unlimited to read it. I'm not going to buy the physical book just because I don't know if I'm going to like it. And then, as I said earlier, book four of The Crowns of Nyaxia comes out, I think it's around August 14th. So after I finish book club, I'm going to go ahead and read that. And then honestly, I just want to get back to Rachel Gillig. So I want to read her other duology. So One Dark Window and two Twisted Crowns, which I'm very excited about. Let me know in the comments what your favorite book was in July and what you're going to be reading for August. I'll see you guys next time.